everyone. My name is Katy Lee, and I am a therapist at Core Medical. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about New Year's goals and resolutions. This time of year is often filled with all sorts of different things. And as soon as we get through all the holidays, everybody wants to make resolutions for our new year. So I want to coach a little bit about how to make them obtainable, but also something that we can stay consistent in. One of the things that I think can cause a lot of stress for people is we make these lofty goals for our new year and then we don't keep up with them. And we often feel either disappointment or anxiety or we base our self-worth in this when we make goals that are not attainable. So one of the things that I like to coach people on is really talking about how resolutions can be so absolute and in a place where we often say, like, if I don't lose 25 pounds this year, like everything's not gonna be good. What I talk to people about is make smaller goals to obtain something that we really want to, right? And something that's attainable that we can actually see happen day by day or month by month or even, 6 weeks to 6 weeks, and really focusing on maintaining the consistency of what we're trying to do. A lot of times I also think we can change our language around making goals, right? So if we can say, this is something that I want to do instead of something that I have to do, we often feel more buy-in to doing it consistently and keeping on track with it. So the first part about making something obtainable is making sure that we have a layout of the steps that we need in order to reach the larger goal, right? So oftentimes I think we hear people say, well, either weight loss or exercise is always something that comes up as resolutions. And one of the things I talk with people about is like, okay, what is our total, what is the if I could have a magic wand right now, I would change everything goal, because that's often something that is probably not obtainable and not something that we can do quickly for sure. And then we say, okay, what is a realistic place? What place would we feel satisfied with that is smaller and that we can break into pieces, right? So we come up with that number and then we break it up. Okay, so how do we actually get there? We need to list out the steps to it. So it might be, you know what, I'm going to start walking every day or 5 days a week, every week, right? And the first month I'm going to check mark it off. The biggest piece that I remind people is it takes 30 days to it takes 30 days to create a goal and 90 days to break one. So if we can stay consistent for a whole month, then oftentimes that will become part of our routine. And that's really what we want to focus on, right? So we want to do it for 30 days consistency. So let's break that down. We want to walk for 20 minutes every day consistently. And that's our first part of our goal. Then maybe we add the other pieces in once we get that down. The other pieces then are our measurement of success. I think the measurement of success has to be broken into a couple different pieces. The first one is, how are we feeling when we are accomplishing the things that we have set out to accomplish? Meaning, I'm walking every day for 20 minutes. How am I feeling before that and after that? How is my mood? How is my body feeling? How is my focus maybe? And really noticing some of those changes to it. Because if we can say, okay, but I feel better, that helps us, again, stay motivated to want to keep going in that progress. Then the next piece is that physical piece, right? Usually we say, is my body changing? Am I able to do things that I wasn't able to do before? Of course, everybody says the numbers on the scale matter. Sure. What I would tell people though, is that how we are feeling before and after and noticing some of the other changes first is what's going to keep us motivated. Then we can look at the numbers after and say, am I satisfied? Do I want to shift what I'm doing? Does this, is this even attainable? Maybe I wanted to lose 5 pounds in 6 weeks and I've only lost 4. And can I be okay with that, right? Because I'm feeling better. And the more that I do this, the more consistent it is, the easier it is. Right? So those are just a few tips of how to create something that's a little bit more attainable. I tell people all the time to write it out, right? Either write it out on a whiteboard or in a notebook or something and say, these are my steps that I'm keeping consistent with, right? These are the steps that I want to take in order to reach a bigger goal. And that goal needs to be put out long enough that we can really make the healthy habits that we want to change, or make the healthy points that we want to change in our life. So maybe it's, I actually want to feel less stressed. And so I'm going to do more self care. Maybe it's, I want to be more social, but we need to have those spread out so we can make those habits in our life. Again, 30 days to create a habit, 90 days to break one. So remember those numbers, keep track of it, and keep being positive about where we're at and how we are feeling before and after we do these things. I hope this is helpful, and I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year.